All right, and I am now live, everybody. All right. I believe this is where YouTube can hear me, but no one else because they haven't gotten the message. Let's go. I'm about to bring Kurt and Mac on here. And there we all are, with Kurt staring right at the camera. All right, everyone. I'm going to tell Discord here. We're live. I'm sure that's automated in some way, but man, that Discord is complicated.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of stuff there.
Indeed.
All right, so how is it going, you two? Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Right? Yeah. So today we get to talk about all kinds of things. It has been an interesting week for us. Last week's episode with Kurt on Saturday, we talked about all kinds of fun parlor-related stuff, and then we also talked about our friend who was doing exactly what we were telling everyone to do, and had built up a big right-wing account and had gotten into all of the inner circles, all in the span of weeks, and had like 25,000 followers and everyone paying attention. It was disgusting.
Oh man, that was a good troll though. Like
it was, right?
It was. Like I said, I wasn't operating the account, but people were trying to call out that account as if it was mine, and there was some pretty hairy stuff being said about me. I was being shown it. I'm just like, wow, okay.
So at this point, it has been claimed that let's see, that guy right there is an AI bot that has been programmed by either Weave or me or someone who wants me to think that's Kurt. Any of those three ideas, and that's actually like a trained bot over there. This is not like a real human we're dealing with. This is one of the accusations from this week.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm an AI.
I mean, obviously, we're doing a deep fake to produce this whole stream.
I mean, I think if I was, I don't know, let's put it, smart enough to pull that off, I wouldn't be so poor. Let's just throw that one out there right now. Think I would have figured out a few things by now. I mean, although maybe being that smart has nothing to do with capitalism. I don't know. I still don't know how capitalism works.
No. Yeah, I'm gonna read off the conspiracy theories about me.
Yes.
There's a list here. So, I am, over the past 2 weeks, I've been labeled mostly by the same people, a Russian operative. I really like vodka, so that kind of makes sense. QAnon controlled opposition, which, I mean, okay, that's probably the most sane one out of all of them. An agent of Weave, I'm not even going to go there. An agent of every single alphabet agency within North America, GCHQ as well. An advanced AI, that was just said. I mean, I'm the most well-designed AI I've ever seen. I have successfully brainwashed mainstream media into announcing something that I am not. That's also really funny. Vetting sources thing. I was sent to destroy Anonymous from within. That's a fun one. And I'm a gang stalker of women trying to break their minds. Which, I mean, I don't even know where that one came from. That one's the most ridiculous thing.
Look, anytime the phrase gang stalker gets involved, don't even try to make sense of it.
So
You're just gonna hurt your
over the years of a few of those. Way back when we started our stuff, I was accused of being the one infiltrating Anonymous. Although, in some weird ways, maybe I was. We ran away with the ball, though.
Yeah. You did some wild stuff with it. I wouldn't exactly say infiltrating, though.
I know, right?
That's a very specific term, which means that you intended for it to collapse from within, but no, things actually exploded. It's kind of not how infiltration works.
So no one called him Q exactly, just said that he was an operative of Q being controlled by Q.
Yes, that I'm in on the plot.
Obviously. That's why you're calling it out so hard. It makes complete sense to me.
Absolutely.
So the Russian agent one, I would believe it a little more if you could actually speak Russian.
I know like Psycha Blat, or I don't even know how that's pronounced. but
That-
that's as far as my Russian goes.
You know.
Ooh.
Ponimichi po-ruski?
Yeah, you have better
Немного?
Russian skill. You have much better Russian skills than I ever would. So
Well, I'm just
that's
saying, like, when I
laughable.
was at least accused of it, like, I could respond to them in Russian and be like, you know, I'm not, but, all Russian agents, see, so I win. I'm not a Russian agent because I used the language, so obviously I'm not hiding well enough. Look at that.
Yeah. If anybody knows who and where my handlers are, please tell them to give me a call because I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, like, you know, one of the worst things for someone in Kurt's situation is to have handlers who aren't talking to him.
Exactly. It's like, oh, okay. Wait, what am I doing?
It's like I'm on my own here.
Oh,
I'll
yes.
make my own decisions, huh?
Oh,
I guess that
that's-
means we set the nukes off. I don't know. No one told me not to.
oh, yeah. Let's not talk about the nukes. There was just a bomb explosion.
There was just a bomb explosion. And the internet is doing what the internet does. Filling up with massive amounts of theories of who did it and why. And so wrong. Oh my God, so wrong. So many of them. My favorite currently is that the IRA is back, but now they're here, and that was the IRA doing it. But if it was the IRA, I would have expected a little different tactic, because one of the IRA's strongest tactics they used, and absolutely most evil, was to bomb something and then wait for everyone to show up to have to clean up the bomb, and then the second bomb goes off. And that's brutal shit. That didn't happen here. So it doesn't really
quite the
match,
opposite, really.
Yeah, it doesn't really match any of the patterns. And in fact, it was exactly the opposite, because the RV is sitting there blaring over the speakers with gunshots in its background sound to leave the area before it explodes, meaning it was an attack on that building that it was parked right outside of, which was an AT&T communications building.
Yes, it was a carrier hotel.
Yeah, it doesn't really require much conspiracy theory here. A lot of communications tech just got fucked. Some 911 went down in like multiple states, multiple areas ran through there. There's possibilities here that are still conspiracy-like people saying that this was a trial run for DC here in a few weeks. They were testing out if they could do it and what effect it would have, because they've picked out a few of these exact type of targets there. And hey, you know, if you're the person doing this type of attack, that might be what you're doing. I don't know that I buy that one, but
I feel like they would have chosen somewhere that wasn't like, you know, Tennessee for the trial run for DC.
It's very
it doesn't seem
it's more low key. Like nobody would ever expect an attack like this in Nashville of all places. So
it's true.
I mean, nobody expected it in Oklahoma City. So
right.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
it just, that's kind of, I think, part of the point. You know. But I do find a bunch of stuff interesting in the people who are looking towards Q and that type of person for the conspiracy theories, because when you think about the various, national and international communications companies who have done quite a lot of evil in the past, working with all of the bad guys to build up systems that we all hate, no one beats AT&T in that front, and it goes back to the beginning of AT&T. But I mean, even when you look at the really highly technical internet-based type of things, like you go back to Snowden, and a lot of people will go back to right around 2013 when a lot of information came out. But if you go back even a decade earlier, and you go back to when the first inkling of this type of stuff happened with the carnivore equipment that was found to exist out in San Francisco in that little AT&T shop, where it had basically the same stuff that Prism did, just the 10-year earlier version of it. And all that was on AT&T's network. A lot of what Snowden released happened on AT&T's network. Like, they seem to play along. So if I was looking at these conspiracy theories and I was even going to give any of them credence, I would say someone might be mad about that type of shit. But I still have no effing idea what's going on, like the rest of you. And I'm not going to be Reddit here and blame some dude down in Rhode Island who didn't do it.
Yes. Yeah, the NSA is on the record saying that AT&T is one of their most enthusiastic partners, going a long ways back. So it's not unknown. The more distressing thing is just the swath of communications problems that this attack caused. That you not only knocked out local communications, it severed several IP routing links, basically cutting parts of the internet in half depending on where your region is.
Yep.
It severed 911 communications, as said. It also took out airport traffic communications, which is a deeply concerning secondary effect. Like the sheer amount of things that are affected by this attack is kind of mind-boggling. And I hope that more don't come. Yeah, that would be good.
I'd like to respond. So 3 Times Reborn in the chat does say that this does match some of the IRA's tactics. And yes, there were absolutely times when the IRA announced beforehand and told everyone to get the F out of the area because we're taking this place down. Those were usually very specific targets, but even those were usually followed up with the secondary bomb because they weren't going after necessarily the residents around that area. They were fine with a lot of those people, so they wanted them to leave. Then they wanted the authorities to show up so they could hit the authorities. I don't know. Just that second bomb not showing up means like I really, that was one of those kind of calling cards, that type of a group uses. I would say the thing that I found most disturbing so far today, beyond the obviousness of a bomb going off in some, just random American city, right? Is all of the news outlets talking about we don't know what happened, then it's in an RV and we know the RV was dropped off, and the language being used is intentional explosion, not terrorist attack. And I was looking at all the various groups who were not using the word terrorist attack, were not using the word, or any of the words really that kind of place some kind of a negative nature on whoever did it. And most of the ones that are getting quoted that are wording it that way are right-wing or right-leaning or centrist. And it leads me to think, like many times in our past, until they know the color of this person's skin, they don't want to say the word terrorist, because if the person's white, they're going to try and avoid that word.
Yeah.
And that seems to be what's going on here. That's what I'm reading out of it.
Like, it's really hard to be like, oh, well, someone blew up an RV like deliberately at a building, and there might be an explanation that wasn't a terrorist attack.
Yeah, right. But like fuck off. It's domestic terrorism. There's no beating around the bush here.
Well, I mean, it could be foreign terrorism. Someone could have gotten into the country, even with travel restrictions now. But they would have had to have probably come in a year ago.
Yes.
Although maybe they were training, finding the right RV, the one with the most comfortable seat. At
least it wasn't a yellow van.
Yeah. Yeah. At least.
Do we have pictures of it? Van. Like, do we know for sure?
I mean, yeah.
It could be like one of those conversion van RVs.
It was a big old Ford, like a Econoline style one, with like a class. What was it called? A Class C. So pictures of it driving to the spot have been released by police. Videos of the spot itself have now come out from some people's door cameras. So there's a few videos out there that actually show the RV itself. And
there's a really weird YouTube account that uploaded footage of the explosion.
The SMCG one.
Yeah, that the circumstances surrounding that are bizarre. I don't know if you looked at the details yet.
Yeah, that account is definitely a bit weird at this point, and so there's an account out on YouTube that has posted a video from one of the cameras that looks to be right over a door, and what's interesting about this is a person who's uploaded it to YouTube who doesn't have many uploads or many posts anywhere, and the name SMCG stands for Sith Lord MacGyver. That is the handle here. Some doxers have found, a name related to this person and what the person does, which they're calling them Chad right now, and that's actually their name. And they sell 1/6 scale niche specialized female figures. So they basically sell really weird female dolls to men who have, I think, mental issues, personally. But anyways, so it could very well be something to, along those lines. Who knows? There's a lot of people looking. You can find the video if you go on Twitter and look up Ford Fisher.
Yeah, strange times we're living in right now.
Really? Yeah, I was looking all around because I was looking up like the names and stuff. But there's absolutely sus as fuck. But so people are looking into it, but I would again stress, don't go all Reddit on this one. We have no idea if Chad just happens to have the same username as someone else, which we're running out of unique usernames, so I highly doubt, that's off the table here.
Yes.
Oh yes. So Parlor Fun, we've had the last week with many more of us on there now.
Yeah, and the reaction to us is starting to mellow out in actually a kind of freaky way. They kind of like us.
We're being welcomed by a majority, but there's still, I would say that's only a 60-40 split, though. It's not like a large majority. It's just there's quite a few people over there claiming this echo chamber was starting to piss me off, and I was about to go somewhere else. We need more voices in here, and that's been interesting to see. But the thing that has just, made me happy is the entertainment I'm getting from the amount of times I've been told to kill myself, or that they're going to kill me, or that I live in a basement. As we've kind of worked out, and I believe John posted a few days ago, they only have about 12 insults that they hurl at you. And it's like, it's all that will fit in their brain. So I've heard all 12 of them like 50 times.
Half of them are just insults that they're recycling because people used on them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I have been
even
called
the ones...
soy boy like 70 times.
Yeah, I don't get the soy boy a lot. I get a lot of people that just like come with Bible quotes and stuff, which I don't mind, but it's either right now like a lot of people that very clearly have schizophrenia, and I worry about them. Or people quoting the Bible at me constantly, and like I get a lot of comments now that are friendly, but they usually cap it off with "you scare me," like they're almost afraid to say something negative because they're terrified of repercussions. Which you don't have to. I don't bite.
He's all cuddly now.
Yeah, I'm all cuddly now.
It's the internet hope machine these days.
Yes, exactly.
He has found the light, all you God-fearing idiots. I'm a devout atheist, so like I'm not even just an atheist. Like, you know how there are those kind of agnostic atheists who are like, I don't care. No, I think it's fucking stupid. Like, really.
Okay, all right.
I'm that guy. You're from the cult of Richard Dawkins. I know I'm an asshole about it. And I've accepted that, so like...
Yeah,
That's why I don't talk about it too terribly much. But these people keep asking me questions about it, or asking me to quote the Bible. Then they misquote it. But, in my my atheistic ways, I have felt very strongly that I needed to understand it before I really went harder and harder down that line. And so I've read the NIV, the King James, multiple times, used them as study and research material many times. I have read 16 different copies of this damn book going back almost, 1,700 years, because the real first, collection was, a couple hundred years after that Jesus guy supposedly was alive. But, so I've done my studying, which means I get to have fun with these people. But my favorite...
Boy, they just choose them, They chose the source material. They handed it to you.
They really do.
It's just chock full.
When they start screaming at me about being infested by demons of Satan and whatnot, I have a picture that I show that is a bar graph, which I love, which shows how many people God killed in the Bible and how many people Satan killed in the Bible, because God killed millions.
The
And
entire
Satan,
population of the world, in fact.
yeah, he killed millions. And in that Bible, the same person who is supposedly more evil than the genocidal maniac, depending on which version of the Bible you read, by the way, is between 6 and 8. Total people that Satan possibly killed in the Bible. Now 3 of those are attributed to him, but it was really kind of one of his demons, and he didn't tell them to do it. It just kind of, was a thing in the line of duty. But, so I'm posting this image and saying, God, this you? And that's really pissing them off.
Oh boy. I have one person that's insistent that I'm stealing Julian Assange's identity. Like, they're accusing me of identity theft and assuming his persona, and I'm like, wait,
huh?
Where the hell does that one come from? Like, that's a Parler specific conspiracy theory right now from someone.
Sure.
Yeah. They call them my jewels. It's almost kind of endearing. Yeah.
Wow.
I worry about some of you. I really do.
We are having fun over there, though. Yeah, the amount of I don't post on Facebook much anymore, as people know. They'll go there. I just can't take like half the people on the damn site or more. But
Anansi World has come over.
But yeah, Parler is more entertaining.
Yeah,
their version of stupid is actually making me smile because I get to fuck with them. Whereas all the people on Facebook who say really stupid shit think we're friends, so I'm trying to be nice. So,
Yeah. It's a completely, like, you're in hostile territory, so you don't really care. Like,
there's no holding back. This is fun.
It's the free speech network. Therefore, you should exercise your rights to free speech. You don't have to worry about getting banned. It's great.
So we've been playing around with all of their fun toys. You found a wonderful broken part of their hashtag system today.
I did. That's like something that would have been wrapped up in an early beta. I'm actually kind of shocked that a couple of years in that
100 different test suites should have caught that if they had any proper CI pipeline in place.
Yeah, I really wonder how they bootstrap this thing. It seems like they have an entire, like, from their launch up until now, it's all technical debt. They would probably be better off just like scrapping 80% of their back end and just keeping the database and just like rebuilding the whole goddamn thing from scratch. They could probably do it in about 6 months or less with the resources that they have.
People like to talk about that in a very negative way, as if like they could do any better scaling to 6, 7, 8 million users. And, Twitter did not do better than this. People these days don't remember the fail whale. But we used to see the Twitter fail whale like 500 times a damn day until they did exactly what Kurt just said, which was an 80+% rewrite. When they moved a lot of their stuff off of Ruby on Rails and into Scala and actually decided to finally give and went eventually consistent with their database instead of trying to keep total consistency, which is a pipe dream at that scale.
Remember the times when they were scaling. And if you had a Twitter account with more than 1 million followers, there was literally a Blade server that had your username written on it.
Yeah. And they also had a special app for those users, which some of the verified accounts got because we were doing too many damn things. And it was called Twitter Engage. And it gave us more features than all the, lower classes of people, I guess. It felt really weird having it because it felt like it was classist. Like, I had this better app that let me do more things. It was unlimited. It was not rate limited in any way on any actions I took. It was craziest effing thing. So for like 4 years, us verified people who were overusing it a little were handed a better app. They took it from us and just said, we've kind of made your accounts work this way in the regular app now. But yeah, it was horrible. Like, every time I loaded it up, I was like, I should not have this, but I do, so.
Yes. There was no threading. Just like the whole reply and thread structure was very bare. When you were retweeting, even around the time after the fail whale was no longer really seen, like, retweets didn't actually exist. Retweets were basically a community construct where you would copy and paste the text of another person's tweet, and if their tweet was too long, you couldn't get the whole thing. because you had to put manually RT and then their username, and that still counted against the character limit. Like early Twitter was really ramshackle, and
It
just
was
the way
rough.
that
It was rough.
it was
Yeah.
rough. Like, and people used it in ways that they didn't expect. You can still tweet from SMS. I always find that fascinating. Like
Yeah.
that functionality is still there. People can take an old T9 phone and go and type up a tweet anytime they want.
The most important question ever asked on 8chan has been posted by Vilobian. For anyone who was around for this thread, you read this as it was posted, and I was in this thread, and you spent hours with everyone else trying to figure out what this human being was trying to tell you. This was one of my all-time favorite threads, and I still have, like, in my meme folder, where I even try and keep it a little more up to date, so I'm not posting like 2006 shit anymore. I still keep that one in there because I still love it.
Yes, the holy. Well, actually, it's not Holy Trinity. There's four of them. There's that. There's Bahu's phone.
Yes.
There's Disfargag and FGS FDS.
Yes.
Where at one point you got automatically banned for posting FGS FDS, if I'm recalling correctly.
Yes, with the guy
it.
who you can't tell if he's in his 20s and has early gray hair or in his 50s. You just can't tell as he's sitting there. But yes, the important question has been asked. Has anyone really been far even as decided to use even go want to do look more like? Now, I can say that fast because I've said that like 10 million times in my life. I don't stumble on that sentence.
Yeah, I've never actually tried saying it fast out loud. Has anyone really been far even as decided to use even go want to do look more like? Wow, I beat you in speed my first try.
Right, but you felt it, right? You felt yourself a couple times wanting to say something else.
I did. That was actually rough. Like, I feel like my brain just broke a little bit there.
Yeah, oh my god. So, I love that one. Thanks, Philobian. A little history there. So, now, the other thing we've been having fun with over on Parler, besides just, all the people...
Which, by the way, we're talking about bringing QAnon news over officially right now.
Yes, there's conversations. It's just, it's a little tricky because some Q tool has the username and is parading around like they are QAnon news.
Yeah, that ain't cool. They post a lot of conspiracy garbage, and
they are anti-vax and anti-mask.
Yeah, I will attempt to reach out to John about it and see if we can get an account set up there and potentially even get it verified QAnon. That's a funny concept.
It really is.
Oh man. But the interest is there internally. Anon 2 World came over with me a couple of days ago, and now has I'm waiting for you to get your gold badge so I can really push your account. Anon 2 World is already above 500 followers. I kind of feel bad for you.
I'll have my gold on Monday. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, it might come in over the weekend, but he said it'd probably be Monday. Okay,
yeah, good to know. And then I'll push you, and you'll probably hit above 1,000 like that.
Yeah. And yeah. I'm gonna do all kinds of other fun things to get my followers too.
Yes, I've been getting fear blocked. Like, I go and I search for people to follow because I'm just like, wow, you're saying some really crazy stuff. I followed a couple hundred people, and of those couple hundred people, I now follow maybe 20 of them because every single one of them saw my profile, remembered the warnings going around in the Q sphere, and they just instinctively block me. So the fear is real.
It's wonderful. You can actually see just how it works too, because you get to watch who you followed. You get to take a screenshot of the number, and I'm looking at some of that right now. And then you get to watch later how many of them you're still following when you didn't unfollow anyone.
Yes. I have gone from around 900 followed down to under 290, which is actually quite something. We'll just say that Alex Jones adjacent people just do not like me.
That should make Macho Man's ghost unhappy. Good old some dude. And thanks for the gifted sub there, much appreciated. Yeah, so we're having a lot of fun over there. Now
Yes.
we're talking about their tech and whatnot. They have all kinds of interesting tech. It's very dated, but it's. I understand how they got here, same as I understood how Twitter got to where it got. Like every time I saw the Fayowell, I was like, yeah, no, I'd like to see anyone else do better than what they've done with the massive growth they got that 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, sure. I mean,
Yeah.
you try and get Ruby to run fast.
Oh, good. Oh,
Yeah, right?
yeah, I tried building out one project once in Rails, and I was like, I'm never touching this garbage again. I mean, Active Record was revolutionary and kind of changed the game with database.
Yes, that's the
abstraction.
thing. It gave us some really good ideas, and now we have much better ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, after Ruby on Rails, you ended up in the Python world getting Django. In the PHP world, you got Symfony, you got Cake, PHP, Igniter. They were okay. Now you got Laravel, which is kind of a really cool, whole set of tools.
Yeah.
But you got all of these on the backs of what Ruby on Rails introduced. Like, DHH gave us some cool shit. Just, you really shouldn't have something built out on scale on Ruby, I don't think, personally, unless you just want to waste a lot more money on hardware.
Yes. Like, I can't look at this account because their shard is completely overloaded from people going and taking a look at their latest post. It's like, oh no, okay.
Well, people are talking about Parler APIs. The Parler APIs are wide open because they've chosen to build the platform on Angular.
Yes.
And Angular is a JavaScript front-end network, so a lot of the work to get the data that's on your page happens after it's already over on your system by making API calls back. So the way Angular works is, you get all this stuff from the server to your machine, then a bunch of JavaScript on your machine makes requests for the various pieces, like the trending list, how many friends you have, and so on, and starts to populate it out on your end, which means Angular from your machine has to be able to reach their API, which also means as long as you just, go into your browser, go into the inspector and intercept one request, you can get your 2 authentication tokens, the JST and MST, and start making your own API calls and just kind of playing around and learning it. They haven't documented the API in any way, but the things we do know is there were many versions of version 1, like version 1, version 1 release 2, and so on. There were somewhere over 20 of those. Many of 2, and now they're up on multiple iterations of version 3 of the API. And we're just looking around. I mean, there's nothing major so far other than some random things being really rate limited way too low. Like, way too low for our fun.
Yeah. Well, we're behaving. To be clear, we're playing nice. We're not.
Of course.
We're not trying to break Parler. No.
No. I'm
they have
having too much
us.
fun with their user base being so dumb and just like feeding us entertainment all day to want it to go down right now. I mean, who knows? Maybe that's next month. But right now, I'm just enjoying this.
Yeah.
Besides, Vote just died, so let them have another one to
Vote
die.
went down. Vote.co there, the Reddit replacement for the right-wingers, which never really went anywhere, which was built on even worse tech.
Indeed, it was. I have an article up literally right now. Another blow for QAnon as Vote announces the Christmas shutdown.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
I mean, when they first announced that they were building on, Windows servers with .NET and all this other stuff, I was like, what? You're expecting scale at a cost you can afford on that setup. Now, hey, some people have scaled that setup, fine. I'm not going to say you can't. I'm just going to say you specifically who were building Vote can't. Like, you as a, like...
Yes.
Yeah.
I
love to trash on the idea of running shit on Windows, but then look at like Stack Overflow, right? I mean, all of that's Windows and Microsoft SQL Server. And I mean, up until recently, like their servers were like 2, like at billions of requests a day because the people who handle their tech are, I don't know. There's not a word for it that I'm willing to use on stream. There's something wrong up there, though, if you can do that to a Windows server.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, oh, geez. How? Indeed, how? And how like not only did they make it work, but they haven't been owned 6 days to Sunday.
Yeah, like it's really amazing. Nick, if you ever happen to see this, well done. Also, you're nuts, but we've had this talk before, and you don't agree with me.
Every time I see .dll in a URL, like I die a little bit inside. Like, oh, like, oh, what
It's
are you?
API.
What? No, oh no.
Yeah.
No.
So
wrong.
anyways, the tech with Parler, we've been having fun looking at how they kind of handle it all. And I do just have to say, like, oh, dude, thanks, Vassar. Another happy holiday. Yeah. Hey, if everyone wants to give me subs for Christmas, that's great. Right? Let's go. Subs for Christmas.
Subs for Christmas.
But damn, that should have been like the title of this. I should have tweeted that.
Oh,
well.
yeah.
You know, I'll get good at this one day. You know.
This is just another step in failing at capitalism.
Yes. You know, the Prime sub thing is definitely interesting. For next week's stuff, there'll be a button here that you can like see that'll tell you what to do, and I'll have it in my about section on the Twitter page too. So it'll be pretty easy.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm going to link in chat. If you have an Amazon Prime account in North America, you're going to go right click that and open it in a new tab so it doesn't take you out of the chat. You're going to go there and you're going to pair your Amazon account with Prime with your Twitch account, and then you're going to get a whole bunch of additional stuff, a whole bunch of features, Prime loot, so on and so forth. And then from there you can give one free subscription using your Prime to a content creator of your choice, which means you're going to give that to Greg, and you're going to do it in the next 5 minutes, or I will find you.
This is my hype man over here. Yeah, so you know the cool thing about that too is that you're taking money literally out of Jeff Bezos' pocket, because it doesn't cost you any extra on your subscription to do so. So I think it's I think it's
as
great.
far as I'm concerned,
one thing
if I had to pay more to take money out of Jeff Bezos' pocket, I would be in for that.
Yes, it's the same thing as using smile.amazon.com. If you're ever going to buy something from Amazon, go through smile.amazon.com, because then Amazon has to make a charitable donation linked to your purchase. So you get to choose the
of your
charity
purchase all year long, and you get a report at the end of the year that tells you how much went to your charity of choice. For me, it's the Easter Seals of North Texas there. My sister had cerebral palsy her whole life. She lived to be 40 years old, which is quite up there for someone with cerebral palsy, actually. We were told 20 was impossible, 10 was, lucky. And she got to 40. And a lot of that was thanks to the Easter Seals. And so we gave them lots of time, lots of effort when I was down there. I've done some stuff with them up here. They've got a really strong branch in Rhode Island. And so whenever I use Amazon, I use smile.amazon.com, and I have it go straight to that same group of people who helped my sister her whole life. And everyone's got someone in their family who had something, be it cancer, be it anything you could imagine that some charitable group definitely had a hand in helping with. And so find them and make it personal. That's how I handle it.
Wow. That's crazy. And also charitable donations, they work. I think people are figuring out the Amazon Prime subs. Yay, thank you for that.
Good stuff. Thank you.
I've received a subscription to a channel that I am broadcasting on.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, you're not allowed to pick who gets it, right? It just randomly picks when you gift, doesn't it?
I'm actually not sure.
Well, someone tell us.
Yeah. Please let us know.
Millhouse is now a meme. That should actually be back there at some point. I do need to start rotating this image behind me. But yeah, so I don't know. We're having a lot of fun with Parler. We're gonna keep having fun with it. There's gonna be a lot more coming soon, especially once I get the verified gold badge there, so I can start to have a hell of a lot more fun.
Yes.
What is interesting to me about their rate limiting and everything else? Cum dogs for Christmas. But
cum dog is a meme.
Over on Twitter, when you get your badge, like the blue check mark, your rate limiting goes way up. So instead of being able to do like 2,000 users in a day that you follow, it's like 100,000. But on Parler, it doesn't look like it does that. So like just like digging through their APIs and whatnot, I wish they were documented. We could have so much more fun over there.
Yeah.
But,
I figured out some of the other stuff. Like there's some weird flags that we were looking at, like RSS false. There are accounts that are Parler partners.
Yes,
where
that's
they
what
have
that
syndicated
means.
feeds.
That's what that means. Yeah.
So that means that they're literally just pulling an RSS feed from a publication and going and making a post.
The integration one is interesting too. That's partners who have tech integrations that are usable in your posts. So there's only like 10 of them.
Oh,
like
wow.
Giphy and stuff like that. Their account shows true there. So.
Oh wow. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Human. So those ones would be human equals false
Yeah.
or true. Or,
I would think it would say false. There's lots of interesting flags.
Mine says human equals false.
That's because you no longer have the red badge. You only have the gold badge. I have the red badge, so mine says true.
That's wow. That's intriguing. Yeah, it says a verified true human false.
Well,
which
also
is
their
strange.
badges JSON in the badges thing there is interesting to me. We need to figure out what all those IDs are, because like I know 0 just means you've sent them your ID, but there's a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. There's all the way up to like 9.
Yeah, so gold badge is a 1 because I have 1.
So anyways, just for chat, we don't need to get too technical there, but we are having fun looking at all their data and kind of how they're doing all of this. And
yes, it's just curiosity, like just because we want to see like how.
But this guy has been actually like pinging John, the founder of the whole thing, and telling him, hey, you should fix this and you should fix that. Yeah, but the technical stuff is actually fun.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it.
Exactly. Pending followers is a weird one.
John has invited me on his podcast.
He has?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So I think I might want to do that as a team event.
Yeah. We should do that. Yes.
Right?
Wow. That's wow. Okay, that's the first I've heard of this. By the way.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Why not me? Like, probably because he's scared of me.
I know, right? Like, I've done so much media that you can see me playing nice with media in tons of videos. So, like, I think he thinks, all right, that guy will be cool on camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not gonna flash a cum dog sunlight.
Right. Oh.
Woo!
But
I promise I won't do any shenanigans, and I might be a sarcastic dick here and there, but.
Sparto knows what's up. She knows I'm not against a good old Eiffel Tower there.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone, we are having a blast. So I think we're gonna go on it. Like I was thinking about the idea of platforming and how you don't want to let the bad guys on your thing, but is it bad for you to go on their thing to fuck with them? Like, is that...
It's a tough question because, like, you have to be careful about it because you don't want to do it in a way that just, like, promotes them.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... Yes.
We've got to be careful around this one because, like, still, I mean, I'm on Parler because it's literally providing loads of entertainment. I'm sitting here programming all day, and every few minutes when I just hit a brick wall, I just hop over to Parler real quick and say something snarky to someone and then get my life threatened. It's great. It's like, it's what I needed in my life. I know most people aren't looking for days filled with death threats, but like, you'd be surprised at how entertaining it is when you know the person doing it has an IQ of like 40.
Yeah. Kurt, OnlyFans for better webcam when? I'll get an OnlyFans as soon as I find my passport because I'm in a chat with one of the execs of OnlyFans payment processor, and we've had very long arguments over the logistics of why they absolutely need up-to-date ID in order to receive payments on OnlyFans and other similar platforms. So I understand why they're so strict, but I'm like, come on, just push me through, please. No.
And what are you going to do on OnlyFans?
I think we already
mud wrestling.
Yes,
That's
I'll
I'm
tell
gonna
you what
take-
he's gonna do.
I'm gonna take risque photos. I'm just gonna be like holding this Guy Fawkes mask here over my genitals, and that's gonna be a riot.
Yeah, but you're gonna leave the sweater on.
one
Yes,
thing I
the
don't
sweater
think
stays on.
I don't think people remember, but at the early anonymous protests for Chinology in February, March, April, and 2008, in a few cities, they each had someone who showed up and did all kinds of risque photo shoots at the actual thing. So, and in two of the cities, it was the same person who went by the online handle Protest Chan. And of course, that is a thing with the mask and everything like that. There's a genre of that.
Wow. Okay. I've also I've seen OnlyFans streamers that literally like anonymous is their gimmick. I've seen screen caps and woo. Oh wow. The thirst.
Sure.
The thirst is real. Say that much.
This is what you should be following on Christmas. Us talking about Guy Fawkes masks on OnlyFans. Like if you're not here and instead you're off doing something with family, like you're something wrong with
Rethink
you.
your life.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Like, really.
I
mean, although I will give a lot of you, that there's like a pandemic and you're probably not with family because you'd rather them not die. I mean,
we are your family now.
Yes. Huh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, if you're still chowing down food, you probably got this on your phone, and that makes a lot of sense. And just try to relax. It's a stressful holiday.
Well,
this year.
Picks or it didn't happen. All right. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Oh my God, 90s pants.
Wow.
It's not safe to eat ass during a pandemic.
It is.
You don't know when it was recorded.
Yeah.
True.
Does it say like on live broadcast? Because otherwise, that could have been any time.
I'm really glad I checked off the mature content one here.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's gated by that right now because we are definitely in that territory. The Twitch mods might be mad if I hadn't done that.
Yes. Another thing. So there was an a Q adjacent account on Twitter for a number of probably about a year and a half now. I don't know the exact timeline, but it was very tightly integrated with Jim Watkins' bullshit. He was promoting this account with all of this QAnon craziness on it. Eventually, they got chased off of Twitter by some of my partners and migrated over to Parler. And their stint on Parler was very short-lived because this account that was tentatively linked by some with Ezra Cohen Watnick, which I'm not going to confirm or deny that. It seems a little bit sketch on the outside, but it's pretty clear that it was a LARP. This LARP came to a sudden end when the account was like, I'm stranded. I need a patriot to come and pick me up. And they were in the middle of absolute nowhere. Somebody actually reached out, went and picked them up in their car, took a selfie with them. And at that point, the LARP was done. It's like this random long-haired, pretty hip-looking person that was definitely not a government operative in any means whatsoever. The curtain was lifted and they were just revealed as a fraudster. A few days went by. They already had me blocked on Parler. Like the moment that I showed up there, they panic blocked me. Probably because they realized that they were going to be one of the first people that I went after, which was true. I planned on doing that. They basically ended their LARP saying like, my time has come to an end. Bye.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. We're talking about E right now. E will help you.
Otherwise,
otherwise known as I the Spy and other such handles on Twitter. There were only 3 people that account followed, and one of them was General Flynn, and the other one was Jim Watkins. So, I mean, it was pretty obvious that it was a long con to begin with.
And it's still a large account over on Parler.
Yeah, well, it's a dead account now.
Yeah,
they're done. They are absolutely done. So we taunted them a little bit, and they ran off, which is fun. Just another component of this whole thing that is now eliminated, which is only a good thing.
It is. Which is another fun reason to be over on Parler right now. I am not standing for Parler. I am not saying it needs to be filled up with users. Please do not give them 1,000 more users. But if 2 or 3 more you wanted to come over and really just
come on.
If we had 1,000 their user base.
If we brought in 1,000 more people that were just there to stir up shit, I mean,
it'd be fun.
That would.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to walk that line of I'm not here advertising for fucking Parler. That is a right-wing, alt-right nest of craziness over there.
That are listening to us.
Yes. So I hope some of you are here because you're nuts. And
not all of you. Some of you have some rational.
See, and
something up there.
This is where we get to the problem. The right-wingers who really believe what all the nut jobs are saying, but act civil towards people like you, Kurt, and use civility as a weapon. And to convince you to be nice to them and talk to them and interact with them. The goal of civility as a weapon by alt-righters like that is to slowly lure you to their ways of thinking. And most of them aren't doing it because they're smart enough to think of it that way. It just happens to be a tactic that has worked and been reinforced in their head, so they're continuing to do it, not because they understand the tactic. It's just reinforcement learning, rote kind of, almost muscle memory. But they use civility as a weapon. And so you also have to be watching for that.
Well, it's not like they're going to convince me that Jews are the root of all evil and that the liberal Democrats are eating babies. I mean,
they aren't going to stop you from wishing the OANN burning building burned down, right? I mean, you definitely want that to happen. You're not going to go do it, but you'd be laughing if it did.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
But I mean, even for the people where people like us, where they're just not going to persuade us because we're not buying that bullshit. They still have the goal of trying to get us to be friendly enough with them that we kind of accept some of what they say.
Yeah, the fun part though is that they come
to others.
Yes, exactly.
And legitimize it.
Yeah. The fun part though is that essentially you're acting as a lure for these people, which then means that all of the people that don't need to try and be civil with them whatsoever can just go and have a good time. Not that I'm encouraging you to go and troll the people commenting on my stuff. I mean, I don't know other people.
Not that you're not encouraging
them to do that. More all on you. Have fun.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to have an intellectual discourse with some of these people, who am I to stop you?
I mean, it'll be mostly one-sided, but
I was gonna say you're not the one to stop them. Whoever they're trying to have the discourse with.
Yeah, really. I mean, somebody will read it, find it entertaining at the end of the day. That's really all that matters here.
Good times. Whew. So, what is going on with everyone in chat today? Are most of you just doing the whole at home because pandemic, no big family meeting thing? Is that what we're doing here? Because that is what we are doing here. So, although I would like something to eat for dinner. That sounds like a good idea at some point.
What? So you haven't eaten yet?
I should. Oh my God! Thank you, Doxy. You guys just have no idea how much I love Doxy. All right,
Doxy
seriously, is great. What a Christmas gift. Yes, in fact, yeah. I mean, the one thing that I want to try out there now is I want to actually eat from Mr. Beast's restaurant. I do. I honestly, those burgers look good. I cannot afford to order out, but if I could, I would be ordering from that restaurant because I want to see what the freaking king of YouTube has decided to put in a restaurant. Because there's one opened right by us. It's not you can't go to it. It's only delivery by DoorDash. But it's literally in between me and you, Mac.
Wait, what is this?
Mr. Beast, the YouTube streamer with like the 50 million.
What's it actually called though?
Mr. Beast fast food restaurant.
Okay.
Like, literally, like
branding.
Yeah, you can go straight to DoorDash and find
branding.
it. So the burgers look good. I wanna see what a streamer does for food. Who knows? Maybe in our future, because Kurt does have a food item that people are you
can eat a cum dog.
I feel like
you
Mr.
can make
Beast
a cum dog.
would be the place to get your cum dogs.
Yes. Consume the cum dogs for Satan. Actually, there is a fun thing. It's called Treat Stream. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I have not.
Yeah, so what you can do is it's something that integrates with Twitch. There's plugins for OBS, I believe. But basically, you can set up a menu of fast food, like stuff that you can order from DoorDash, Grubhub, so on and so forth. And people that are watching your stream can just click a button and buy that for you. And it puts a notice in chat. I've seen a streamer receive 5-foot-long tuna subs.
I feel like this audience might do something like that.
Yeah, there's a way to abuse this.
You don't. They don't get to pick the food items. To be clear,
okay.
That would be a complete and utter nightmare if that was.
It doesn't matter. Like I made a list of things that I'd be happy with getting, but now I got like 30 of them at once.
Okay.
I'm still gonna be like, I don't know what to do with this.
And then you put up a counter and you're like, okay, we're gonna do a marathon of this. For every 500 cheer bits, I'm gonna try and pound down another one of these burgers.
A few moments later.
Seal test eggnog. I've had much better. Ugh. I've had better.
Good times.
Just, when you go and you buy cartons of eggnog, I'm really, really, really picky choosy about that shit. This is
this
is probably seal test. Yeah. I don't know. It's too watery. I expected an eggnog-like consistency, and I basically almost poured it so fast that splashed out over my hand.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, no, not at all.
No. So I do want, one of the things I'm going to be asking for is, we're getting followings over there. Kurt and Anantu World are definitely growing relatively quickly. Kurt was there first. He got that gold badge first, so he's way bigger. But we're going to work on all kinds of strategies to make sure that our accounts grow quick.
Yes.
We've got our standard tactics, but I don't want to fall into the same trap that they are, where we keep joking about the 12 things they say. So yes. I think, if any of you want to get on the Discord, which is linked to in the About, and I think you can actually show it in the chat with the exclamation Discord, and give us any ideas on kind of like adding to our repertoire of, witty responses and tactics we should use and all that. By all means, I am open to suggestion.
Yes. Please no spies.
That does not mean I'm suggestible. Those different things.
Yes. We're not being sellouts on Parler. To be clear, I would never have been on Parler in the first place if Twitter never suspended me. So yeah, realistically, you only have Jack Dorsey to blame for this right now. I need to have a proper platform of which to espouse my particular personal brand of comedy and internet chaos, and right now I can only really do that on Parler. So if you want me back on Twitter faster, hashtag free Kirtaner. Just scream at support until they unlock me. This is ridiculous. This is an insult. I hate you, Jack Dorsey.
I mean, I think he hates himself too. So you get in line, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen the pictures of him during the pandemic. He has changed. He doesn't.
Yeah, he's got some ZZ Top shit going on.
Right.
Wow.
It's like he locked himself in a cave for like 6 months.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stilkey asking about the possibility of gun smuggling into DC on the 6th. So the 6th is supposedly, a day where right-wingers are going to all be in DC, but also the 16th too. I've seen both dates. There's events set up for both. The 16th is being set up by the same people who set up the MAGA 2020 march that was there like weeks ago. Pat King and all them. And the 6th was originally set up by a different group. They've kind of merged efforts now, and I think the 6th is really where it is. As for anything we might or might not know about what they're setting up or how they're setting it up, I'm not telling. But it's definitely a lot. And there's good reason not to say it just out on stream and to instead use the intel for our own entertainment that we'll talk about after it happens.
Yes. Somebody asked what happened between me and Del Harvey, the Twitter safety VP. It isn't direct Del Harvey, but it is an organization that Del Harvey was with at the time. I put the link for you to punch into the Wayback Machine and around the correct date to go and look that up. There will be a lot of really messed up shit. It's a rabbit hole
if you want to go down it. He has given you the way to start down that rabbit hole.
Yes, you can verify that. Yes, they indeed harassed my mother and I, and it was a hell of a time.
And he's got lemonade, and he's got beer, I've got lemonade, he's got beer, and he's got eggnog. So this is just.
I'm on scotch now. I ran out of beer. Well,
so
I didn't
I'm just
open
drinking
another
lemonade
beer. I have more.
it's good for my vocal cords. My voice always gets scratchy at the end of these, so the lemonade helps.
I mean, I got two things here. I got a little spritzer going, and I got eggnog, and I'm gonna definitely have to wash down this eggnog with that to get the taste out of my mouth at the end. But I mean, I already poured it, so I gotta drink it. Man.
Absolutely,
a lot of people,
Stilkey. Absolutely, Stilkey.
A lot of people don't want a civil war or race war.
There are a lot of other people working on these issues. There's a lot of lefties planning to be there and to be confronting them. There's of course the entire police presence, but we have seen how much they actually support the right and not us. And maybe that's because the right keeps throwing back the blue events and we keep throwing defund the police events. I still think we're right.
I think you have causality backwards there.
Yeah.
We keep throwing them because the police were already siding with them over and over for decades, ever since the inception of the police.
There are a lot of people working on the 6th. Everyone all the way up from huge, government groups, of course, all the way down to every major Antifa group out there, and everyone in between there. So it's gonna be just a shit show. We'll see what happens, but I mean, I don't expect anything like major. I don't expect massive guns or anything like that to be happening. But
what we'll probably end up seeing is a rise in right-wing terrorism after the inauguration.
Yeah, and following along, you guys have been linked to a couple times the Unicorn Riot stuff, and if you look back through Unicorn Riot's history, that whole group of people are amazing, but they have leaked the internal chats of every right-wing organizing group of all time. There just aren't any right-wing organizational groups that don't get infiltrated. So I would assume there's multiple people inside of those groups now even, preparing and understanding what's going on and dealing with things from a infiltrator perspective. Because we haven't seen one of these happen yet that I don't know, didn't go that way.
Back when the
those aren't listed, by the way, so
yeah, remember that Proud Boys document.
I won't be repeating them. You'll have to watch the stream later and pause it or something if you want those, because that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I wonder if we get reported for that.
Yeah, you might want to consider snipping.
So I'll snip that for I'll snip that out for YouTube.
Yeah.
But,
That
I hope everyone enjoyed that. That was good times.
that talk is bullshit, and we've discussed that this is a subject that has been covered many times, and I would not be a free man if what you're hearing in certain circles was actually factual. No, there was something that was used for growing a botnet. That's literally all it was. It was like a troll URL that was used to grow a botnet, and that's pretty much all I need to say about it.
Yep.
Now, back when the Proud Boy affidavit, or there was a document that the Proud Boys put out a couple of years ago, not put out, it leaked a couple of years ago, and it had a bunch of redacted boxes, except the redactions were not done properly. Like, you could still go and get to the text underneath them. There was a phone number there for one of the Proud Boys, and I set up a script on my phone because they just released Automator for iOS. So I wrote up a little script to send him from the entire B movie script one word at a time. So you can be creative with your phone related pranks as long as you don't mind people having your phone number in certain cases. It's always good to have some burner sims laying around. That's all I'll say.
Indeed. So yeah, having some fun. So I don't know, all that stuff going on in Washington, we know, and it's fun.
Yes.
But yeah. So what else do people want to talk about? I don't know that I'm going to be dropping any more docs here, but maybe.
Those were just arbitrary series of numbers. They weren't something that you could actually punch into a phone. Like, no, you were just being a human number station. That's it.
My favorite anime. So I this is weird for me because I'm not an anime fan. I am a fan of Japanese culture. I have, learned the language, spent time over there, but just not an anime fan. However, there are a few just, things that I have to say are just great on their own, unrelated to whether they were anime or not. And Ninja Scrolls, that film is amazing.
Classic.
I am a big fan of Ninja Scrolls. But if I'm going for just series, just like if you're talking about like the Evangelions and all that type stuff, I'm just not a fan of any of that stuff. I will jokingly go all the way back to the early 90s and say Ranma 1/2, but
always a good choice.
But I mean, just not a fan. Ninja Scrolls would probably be where I would stick with my favorite.
Yeah, for movies, probably Akira, because
sure,
of course,
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Akira as a film. I think it's really well done. I just if I'm picking between the two, I still go Ninja Scrolls. Actually, I don't know. I like the story a little better.
Interesting. Serial Experiments Lane is probably my favorite series. It's one of those things where you either like it or you fucking hate it.
Yeah. I'd go with I'm not sure that it's my absolute favorite, but I really like a lot of the conceptual stuff, so I'm gonna go with Paranoia Agent.
Yeah. Good times.
Yep.
Heavy metal dark fantasy, obviously,
Oh right, I forgot that they redubbed that. Yeah. The first translation wasn't great, but the dub was good.
Yeah. The voices back in like the late 80s, early 90s were way better than what they have now. The voices when almost every dub was coming out of Wichita fucking State College in that little dubbing room they did.
What's that anime where like the entire translation was basically a huge joke? Like I think it's called Ghost Stories or something like that.
I remember hearing about that, but I don't. Ghost Stories.
Yeah. Oh, that's a masterpiece of a translation. Just imagine if you asked /B to, without having any knowledge of Japanese, to just like shit post as an anime translation. And then have the voice actors basically do ad-libbing on top of that during the recordings. That is Ghost Stories. So if you actually
sounds fun.
Yeah. I highly suggest watching it if you haven't seen it.
All right. Well, if we're going with like unofficial stuff,
This
I
is
might have
official.
to-
It was actually released.
Oh,
Like on
because I was gonna
DVD.
say like. In that case, can I go with like Team 4-Star? Does Hellsing Ultimate Abridged count?
All of their abridged stuff is great. DBZ abridged is just like mwah.
I could never get into
So much
DBZ
better than the
or
actual
Naruto
series.
or any of those things. None of that ever spoke to me.
Naruto. I mean, Naruto was just a GNA psyop to see if
Yeah.
people eat garbage, and they did, and modern anime fandom was born. So thanks.
Yeah.
It's what we all expect from GNAA.
Yeah.
Habib it.
Woo.
Ah.
Yeah.
The password to enter is always itty bitty baby itty bitty boat. No parlor
when you
users
go-
will get that.
No, they won't. And when you go and you show people
Winky House.
where that meme was actually sourced from, the actual original unedited one, it's like, you're into water sports, son? Like, oh boy.
Shit.
Oh shit.
Ah, the good times.
Yes.
Good fun stuff.
The golden age.
Itty bitty baby was literally the key for marble cake for like 6 months. And nobody guessed it. And I'm just like, you're not trying, people. You are really failing here.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a good question. That was a good one. Anyone got anything else for us? I like this. What are our favorites thing? I did. There's an AI bot that connects up to your Spotify and then judges you, and it judges you very harshly. And I ran that bot a few days ago against my account, and it pointed out that I listened to way too much punk, and that it didn't understand that I could listen to that much punk while also liking Billie Eilish. And I understand how it gets there, but it's true.
Yeah.
So fuck it.
I mean, that's a solid bot right there.
Right?
Yeah,
No, it was.
wow.
It was definitely. So I posted about it on Twitter, and a bunch of other people went in, and it started like just really, and it's very insulting too. Yeah, it was. And it said my favorite bands were Rise Against and Lagwagon, which I think that's solid. My most played songs were "Where Eagles Dance," "Where Eagles Go There," and what is it? INXS's "Don't Change," and a bunch of Motorhead. So yeah.
Now I kind of want to find out what happens if I make an account on Spotify, listen to nothing but Primus, and then run that bot.
You would have AP Blake, the journalist. You would have his account. Because that's literally.
I just want to know what the bot tells me.
On Spotify, you can see you can friend people just like you can on other stuff, and you get a list down the right side on the client, and you can watch what all your friends are playing. And 9 times out of 10, Blake is just playing Primus. It's nonstop. That's all it is.
I love me some Primus, but I don't know if I could listen to that much Primus. At a certain point.
My favorite Primus is still when they did the all of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory songs. From the movie, and they did that live, and that was amazing. You can find that video on YouTube. It's really good.
I mean, Wes Claypool is just an amazing musician.
Yeah. I mean, would South Park have gone where it went without Les Claypool?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a
that theme
banger.
really set the tone for the show.
Right.
It really did, yeah. Edward Snowden and Chelsea Manning are heroes. That's pretty much the only thing I can say.
Absolutely, 100%.
What do you think is the most interesting case of hacking that's unaffiliated with the panel? I'm going to need more context there. The panel. What is the panel?
What do you think?
What did I want for Christmas? I wanted my dignity.
Unaffiliated with us. I think they're calling us the panel.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I understand words in context.
These are my blind eyes.
Yeah, Stuxnet. Yeah, it was already said in chat. There is one specific case of I believe it was a enrichment plant that was sabotaged, and the malware was designed to not only interfere with the industrial controllers that were enriching the uranium or whatever, but every time it would every so often start blaring over the PA speakers of the facility an AC/DC song.
It just kept blasting Thunderstruck.
Yeah,
it was great. It was amazing.
That's legit.
I mean,
yes.
I'm still going to say, if we're talking like in terms of what it could have caused and what it did cause, then Stuxnet definitely is the most public one that we know about. But if I'm talking about just my favorite, it is definitely the Chicago Max Headroom television hack. I mean, that one is always my favorite.
Yes, that one, that is classic, and the perpetrator is still at large.
Which really just like adds to the mystique.
Yes,
that's really what you want out of a great hack.
Perpetrator
decades later
has
still
already been laid to rest, and rip to you, brother. But he is in the ground now, and a wonderful person.
I'm putting a link in the chat. That's to the Max Headroom hack. The person literally overrode the broadcasting signal, just overpowered it, and took over a television feed in real time. And it's really weird.
And I want to say that, like, you know, when you watch the video, like, he comes off kind of nuts. But how to put this delicately, that was him being him.
Yes.
I lived in Chicago and was deep in the scene when this, you know, like when this person was still around before they passed. They never got caught. They never got outed. It was great. They never wanted to. But, and it was, you know, this is this person being this person. Like, they always acted like this. The camera could have been turned off and some of this shit would have happened.
Yeah. It's it's a case of something that didn't really happen very often. I can only think of one other major case of somebody hijacking a broadcast signal, and it was somebody that was angry about HBO at the time.
Yeah,
and that person did get caught.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that one was done hardwired. This one was done with some satellite fun.
Yes. Hacking satellites is something that people should probably try to do more, but also probably not, because that's a tricky one.
Well, you know what's interesting about satellite stuff is you can look through a bunch of databases that show you all the current satellites up there, the various types like the LEOs and all the others, like and you can find the ones that, are no longer under any control or ownership. There are databases of this stuff, so they're considered space junk. But they're all in all that data that's out there, including even like the big NASA thing where you can like see all of the objects around the Earth, all kind of floating there. That looks like a trash heap around the planet. You can also find the ones that still should have power. They aren't done because their batteries ran out and they weren't solar at that point or something.
They're just decommissioned.
Yeah. So they're still sitting there powered up.
No one's in charge.
And you could still, talk to them. And technically no one owns them anymore because companies have gone under. Lots of companies that put up satellites are out of business, and no one ever bought up the assets, or they bought them up but didn't do anything with those, and then that branch of so there's thousands of satellites up there that are still powered, that still have good transmission rates. Usually, they're not good, but they're like 128K. They're like mid-90s ISDN line type speeds. But a lot of them, their manuals are out there on the internet. You can find for specific models of satellite computers. While there was a lot of custom work done, there was a fair amount of reuse in this space in the 70s and 80s. So if you want to get into that stuff, there are really interesting communities out there playing around with satellites that they don't own, and trying not to get caught doing it. And you can probably find your way into some of them because it's interesting and fun. I would recommend against finding the ones that still have any sort of control over their, station and any like control over where they are, because a lot of them do actually still have the ability to do minor course corrections and whatnot, which was built into all of these to avoid very space debris and other things, so they didn't get shot. So they've got little air thrusters, that'll just move them an inch this way or that way or whatever. Because some are close enough to other currently working satellites that with only a few hours work, once you actually got talented, you could bump one into the other, which would be catastrophic.
If you look at how orbits actually work, they're quasi-periodic, so they're not exactly perfectly symmetrical. They oscillate around sort of an orbital center, but like they go back and forth. So if you know what you're doing and you have enough calculation capacity, you're like 3 inches off of your original course, if you know what you're doing, that could be like aiming at another satellite, and you have a lot of choices there.
So you could have a lot of fun with that. There are communities out there who have all that knowledge. There's stuff to read. There's people playing around. So far, we have been lucky enough that the ones that get good enough and have the technology access enough to do anything about it have decided not to do the bad things. I would recommend staying, like that. We don't really need satellites raining down on us. That doesn't sound fun to me.
No.
Yeah, and like if we destroy satellites, it creates a whole layer of debris, and then every time we try to launch a rocket to put up a new satellite, it has to pass through the debris. And at orbital speeds, even debris is a real threat to the rockets. So we're making it so we might be unable to put
then maybe
more...
you want to do this, because just, fuck your reusability. No. It is interesting. Well, I mean, now the Chinese can, they have lasers that can target freaking satellites. They decided to test that a few years back and showed us that their laser can hit a geostationary freaking satellite. So they could just, shoot all of that stuff. No worries.
That definitely won't create lots more debris.
Right?
No. An interesting thing with ham radio operators is that you can contact the ISS.
Yes.
If like you can watch and see when the ISS is going to be contactable through like over your position. Then you get a certificate. Like they actually will send you with your call sign a verified certificate that you were able to contact the International Space Station. It's kind of cool. Like that's like the golden egg for a lot of amateur radio operators. You can even get a video feed to them if your setup is powerful enough.
That's crazy. It sounds like if you're into that thing, that's definitely a target. I don't know how we got off on there. I mean, still keep asking about Trump pardoning Maxwell. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I'm surprised she's still alive, but I don't think that pardon's going to happen. Like, that one is weird to me. I don't know why. I don't think I can back that up either.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like... If it weren't for this last string of pardons, I'd be like, yeah, that one seems pretty far-fetched. But he's pardoned some people where I'm like, wow, that's just... Really?
He's pardoned child murderers. So, like,
yeah.
I don't know why. Like, I just don't think that one specifically.
Pardoned a random cop that sicked a dog on a suspect that was already in custody. Like, what? And political allies, of course. So, yeah, who knows at this point? He could pardon just about anyone.
I mean, there are a few pardons I would like to see him throw through, just because if he's going to be abusing it anyways, might as well. I want to see Ross Ulbricht get clemency.
He's already called for the deaths of, so...
I want to see Ross Ulbricht get clemency. I really do. I think everything that happened there was just outrageous. His mom, Lynn, is an amazing person. I got to go to Hope with Lynn and Alex Winter to show Alex's to see Alex show his documentary on it, the deep web there, and we got to hang out. And I've got like one of my favorite pictures of me is like me and Lynn and Alex like there with the documentary, and we spent a long time just kind of talking about the absurdity of 40 years plus 2 life sentences and no chance of parole ever. It's just based on facts that were then taken out of evidence and they decided not to charge him with, but were used to taint the jury into believing those things before they, took it all away. Such as like the murder for hire and stuff like that just didn't happen and they couldn't prove. And so they just wanted to show the jury that we think he did this. And then when the judge said, "Are you actually charging him with that?" No? Okay, then that goes out of evidence. But we didn't get a new jury. Like, in a lot of cases, that'll be a tainted jury, and they'll no, they didn't. And so this jury used all this evidence that wasn't true against him, even though it was taken out of evidence, and they were told to ignore it. Plus, he wasn't the only Dread Pirate Roberts, and the idea that he built all of that specifically himself is absurd. There were multiple people building that platform, and he was the least technical of the three. So the fact that he's just sitting there with that, I want to see him pardoned, full clemency, all that. It would be great. I mean, more for his mom than for him, honestly, though. I mean, it was like Rose with Jeremy Hammond. That mom, man. She's amazing and been through a lot.
Yes. I hope he gets pardoned too. It's just the circumstances where you're just thinking like, is Trump getting some money out of this somehow? There are questions. But
I'm sure he's buying favors.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Hey, give us the password to this Bitcoin wallet, and we'll think about it.
Budoshin 42, I want to say I do actually want to get an expert on bird law on my show, and I have plans to make that happen next year. It won't be January, February, but it's exactly who you're thinking when you say those words, and I do think I can make it happen. And that would be a fun show.
Yeah.
Yes. OPSEC episode would be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely should do an OPSEC episode. If you want to talk to people about, getting burner simmed connections with phone numbers where the sims get destroyed later and all that other fun stuff. We've talked about these things before. We could talk to people about how to actually put together a computer that you could feel safe using for whatever. And, how to store it in a way where it doesn't come back to you and all that type fun stuff. So, we could definitely talk about that kind of fun. I would say I'd want to prep a little with you and make sure that we don't, both have the same things to tell them.
Yes. But, not only on the technical side, but also like pitfalls on just general communication habits, Yeah. You have to consider that they have the technology to discern the author of source code just by basically the same tech that they use for linguistic analysis. Like they can basically have a 95% confidence on the author of a chunk of text based on commonalities in their typing habits and sentence and linguistic habits. But the same thing can also apply to source code. So if you are writing code in the same manner as you do in real life, like under your professional work and something that may be illegal, they can actually try to pinpoint you based on code styling, how you're naming your variables, your indentation, just literally, all of this is very, very fascinating stuff. And it's all stuff that needs to be considered. So it's not just, you have a burner sim, you have a phone, you make sure everything's disabled. There is a lot of very,
it depends
very
on who you're going up against, I should say. Not necessarily that they are the target, but who is targeting you if you do the thing you're about to do.
Exactly.
So if you're planning on doing something where a serious nation-state actor is going to be up against you, and they'll never see you, but they might hear you, well, then your voice is everything they need. The slang you use, the colloquialisms, the insults you say to someone, even if it's in a friendly manner. All of that stuff is very localized, even though we're still all over the internet. So when you talk about things like that, one of the things that I always yell at someone when I'm in a chat and they are talking about something they might be doing, and then I see them use a word that literally only a small area north of London uses to mean a thing, I have to tell them, you have to remove that word from your vocabulary. The best way to do that, and this is a big ask, but jail sucks, is to learn a second language so good that when you're doing these things, you can do it in that second language. Even in, real life here, watashi wa nihongo ga wakarimasu. Demo mada jouzu ja arimasen. Like, learn another language to do your shit in. Even if you speak it badly, that even makes it harder for them.
Yes.
Because it removes a lot of your local slang, a lot of your colloquialisms. And
Yes. That's also why you'll see a lot of black hats that they'll just be like doing like 90s IRC type UR, like no punctuation, typing like an idiot back then. That's
old
an
school Lee
intentional
Haxers.
choice. Yeah, old school Lee Haxers. That's an intentional choice. That's not because they're deficient in brain power. It's just because it makes your analysis blend in with everybody else that talks like that. Another thing, like even differences as small as the American and Canadian spellings of words. So check having Q, instead of the word QUE instead of as CHECK.
Color
like,
does not have a U in it.
Exactly. These are things that are picked up on.
Every word has a U in it if you're from Canada or the UK.
There's a lot to be said about OPSEC.
You can mix it up even.
And it's not stuff you're going to pick up in one episode, but we'll throw down some of it. But like the thing is that it's years of experience of doing this type of stuff, and some of it's years of study to get good enough at it that you could be safe doing things. Yes, suddenly Japanese. All I actually said there was that I understand Japanese. I'm not that good at it, but I understand it. That was like almost exactly what I said. But I'm good enough at it to be conversational enough that it doesn't,
you should meet my Macedonian friend. He speaks fluent Japanese.
Actually, that's one of those best things. Like, even though I spoke Russian pretty fluently at the time in the mid-90s, the two people I dealt with the most in Russia, we did not speak Russian or English to each other. So like, it's OPSEC is more complicated the stronger and smarter you think your enemy is.
Yes.
So yeah, very, very important to understand the threat model as Anonymous TST said in the chat there.
And like, if you're worried about someone like who might only be able to, see what's publicly available, then you have a lot more leeway than you do if you're worried about like a nation state actor who might be able to see encrypted communications and stuff that should be private.
Yes. And also consider that just because you're not slipping up with something that they can indict, because like they could be monitoring all your encrypted communications, but until they have something that a judge wouldn't throw out of court because it is not legal surveillance or something that they can actually nail you on in a public fashion, you should still consider that there are probably people reading stuff that you are operating under a proper threat model. Like, just like always assume people are watching you, like no matter where you are, and you'll be a lot safer.
Basically, pretty simple. Same thing I always say about any chat that you think is private but has more than 20 people in it. It's not private anymore.
Yep.
Make sure that you understand that, and that what you say in that chat is, metered in such a way that you do not out yourself having done anything wrong. Even if you think you trust all 20 people, that's a large number to trust in that way with things that might,
one person hands over their phone, one person, and everybody's screwed.
We learned during Op Tunisia and Op Egypt during the Arab Spring, as we worked with a lot of local hackers on the ground, and especially in Op Tunisia, where we were working with them for a couple months beforehand and planning and getting everything together, that they have a much lower number. Their number is 4. And this was the number that they actually talked about. Like, this is a well-known thing in their circle there. which was the second that a fourth person knows the thing that you and your friend is planning, just four. Even if all three other people you think, like two are family members and one's your best friend forever, doesn't matter. Four, everyone involved is dead. And that was how they saw the world under their authoritarian regime, and they had a lot of evidence to back up that number was kind of where you were over the line.
All the stuff I've seen about people that have organized wide varieties of criminal conspiracies or revolutionary groups and stuff. They always find that when you talk about a cell network structure where the whole goal is to minimize the risk of leaking information. Once you get to 6 people, you have hit the theoretical maximum for the number of people you can possibly hit where it might be safe.
Yeah, any cell-based entities that we've put together for certain ops have 6 has always been our max number. And there's some really good writings on that too, on building out cells and how large they can actually be, how much information cells can have about any sort of authority in any way to pass along information. How many cells can know other cells exist and any way to contact them to keep a somewhat mesh network kind of setup going within the cells. There's all kinds of logic here to how all that works, and stuff we can go into greater detail when we aren't already 2 hours into an episode. But I think we've settled a lot now. And yes, good night, Julianne. Good night, Julianne, and happy holidays to you too.
We basically studied the Al Qaeda operational cell model and adopted it for the internet.
And
to be fair, it was developed by the CIA, so there was some real budget behind that.
There were millions of dollars in budget behind that.
Indeed. Thanks, CIA.
I know, right? Don't say that again. No. I do want to get Charlie Day on here just because he sounds like he's going to be fun. I've only gotten to have one little conversation with him, but I am friends with someone who was his roommate for a long time and was one of his better friends for a long time. So I will see if I can honestly get both of them. You guys would like both of them. They are both very well known. It's the whole pulling people in as we lead into the holidays, as they all get very politically active or they're on film somewhere. All of the big names besides Kurt here who I could pull in are all February, somewhere around February. So we'll have some more fun coming as the year goes on here, as we move into 2021.
Sounds good.
I was joking with another friend about, hey, so you want to bring someone on who's been Me Too'd and make fun of him and have him leave? But I was told not to platform that person.
Oh, that sounds nasty.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I just thought, having someone on and insulting them a lot who is, super famous would be funny. But they were right.
Especially the contradiction between the buildup of oh yeah, we'll bring you on, it'll be great, and then they're actually on. It's just nothing but shitting on them.
Right.
But yeah, it's a fine line to walk.
Yeah. You need the right person for that. It needs to be just absolutely the perfect choice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know that there are any perfect choices there. There's no rehabilitating Bill Cosby. That's done. There's nothing that man could do to salvage anything.
No.
So
that
I don't know
really
that
be the point of bringing him on either.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to say that Hannibal Buress hasn't already said?
It got to the point with him that with Bill Cosby that I deleted all the memes that I had saved of him. No, not even can't even laugh at them anymore. You just see it and you're just oh. Oh no.
Yeah. Good times. So what does chat want to talk about now? We still got a lot of people here. We talked about a lot of the stuff that we had planned on kind of bringing up early. We're kind of right now riding off of interactions here.
Everybody's drank too much eggnog and ate too much food.
Right. Oh boy.
Don't actually Google that.
Yeah, no. Besides COD, so I love killing zombies in COD. That has been fun. But other games, I'm currently attempting to figure out Rocket League. It's actually kind of fun. But usually when I still just need a go-to game because I need to like take my head off of some project I'm working on, some op, whatever, I go still straight to Age of Empires 2. Still that's my game. 3 sucked.
If we had an actual plan on Parlor, it's probably not something that we would discuss here. Yes, I saw that you offered your account to Jack in exchange. I appreciate the sentiment, but I don't think that Twitter moderation would go for that. And also, we're probably not hearing from them.
Are you operating a fiefdom here? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, exactly. Like more Twitter accounts for the Twitter gods. Like, what?
Do we have an actual plan on Parlor? I mean, if I was jokingly planning things, I would say it would be hilarious if we as a group ended up as the most followed people on the entire platform and really took over the messaging and got the majority of Q's stuff off of the platform. That would be hilarious.
Yes.
But, I mean, that's definitely a long-term play. Although, we do have plans along those lines to have some fun with it. I think more than not, it's been interesting just kind of trolling in their comments, but having the very random, people show up and say, but I heard this and this and this, and I did my own research because they read like Becky Down the Block's blog or something and thought that was better than Dr. Fauci. But having that person interact with you and say, where did you and how did... And listening to you. And so there's been quite a lot of people that I've been able to send down, I think, better paths, better understandings of things, that because of kind of how Kurt set up the entry to the platform for us all, they're listening to. So hopefully we reach a few people. I mean, I'm not there to be some benevolent guy trying to, make some of them smarter or anything, but, if that happens as a side effect, that'd be fun.
I'm just there to disrupt the QAnon people there on the platform, and people are paying attention, and they're realizing that it's actually a gigantic bunch of bullshit.
Doing.
I mean, we used to joke many years ago about how trolling on the chans was pissing in an ocean of piss.
Yes.
I think the plan here is shitting in an ocean of piss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
hope that it's a loose stool and it just kind of spread.
I mean, roll with it whatever way.
Wow.
Wherever it's going.
I mean, every time I just hear people talking about AoE 3, I just think, whoa, and I hate it. But, so the start and kind of finish of it all was definitely to get over there and disrupt Q kind of on what they've claimed is their home turf, right?
Yes.
And so that's still the majority of what's going on. But, you were asking, the chat was asking kind of about what other major plans there might be. And for other plans, I mean, I kind of talked about them. We might head off in other directions. Q might fall apart so hardcore that there's just no reason to do it anymore. But then it'll just be down to, is it still entertaining enough to post there or not? We're on the internet, and we've been here long enough to have the ADD and the ADHD so built in, so deep, that if we get bored, we're just going to disappear. So,
Yeah, and then another 5 years late down the road, somebody will mention Parler and be like, "Oh, is that still up?" And you go and you log in.
Do I have an account there?
Yeah, exactly. Eventually, you just if you can figure it out, you have your main platform, and you just turn that account into an aggregator for whatever main platform you're using, until it breaks, and then you forgot you were doing that. Back in the day when you could pair your Twitter account with Facebook, and all your tweets would show up on your Facebook timeline. That's basically how I used Facebook for a couple of years, and then they removed the integration because Twitter became an actual competitor.
Yeah. So one of the interesting things I have found on Parler, which me, myself, and I are here, says is about the reach. So, as a platform, Twitter really figured out how to shrink your reach a lot. So that what you would put out there would go to less people until you started paying them. Much like Facebook, you had to pay to get to large enough numbers. So you might have a page with 100,000 people on it, but they only show your new post in people's timelines to like 10,000 of them, unless of course you hit the boost button and pay them money. So Parler has that. It has promotions. So you can promote posts and pay for it. They have an account, a credit system, all that type stuff for doing it. But they give you a hell of a lot more views up front before you kind of are required to do that to start maxing it out. So, on a post where I might get, 1,000 views on Twitter, Parler's going to give me like 3,000 or 4,000 views before boosting would offer me anything more. And I think that's just down to the age. As these things grow, they continue to take away more and more of your views until you give them money to cover their budgetary needs or, Mark Zuckerberg's next mansion or something,
Yeah.
Or those $400 t-shirts he wears only like once.
Right.
Yes. If you ever look at Parler and you notice that everything is absolutely stuffed to the brim with 10 billion hashtags, that's a consequence of the design. There's no free text search. There's only a hashtag search, which it blows my mind, really. Because of that, if you see just a whole bunch of arbitrary hashtags stuffed into the footer of a post, that's probably why. They just want to increase their reach as much as possible, and that's essentially gaming the system. It also makes everything look really ugly. I have to try and actually mix in hashtags with anything that I post, and I
made a post with 100 hashtags just to see what the hell it did, and it got more views than I had followers. So I guess it works.
Yep.
But yeah, it was dumb. I just went and copied out of like 3 or 4 of the big ones and then deduped them, then pasted them all in and said, all right, so does this do anything? Is this why you're doing it? And yeah, it works fine on their platform. They should I don't know. They should diminish the value of them the more you have in terms of how their algorithm weighs what it shows people on their timelines. But
there's no algorithm.
Well, their stuff still does a lot of crazy things. Like when you're sitting there and you have your feed up and you're watching the stuff come through. For some of you just aren't on Parler yet, so you don't see this. But on Twitter or on Facebook, it auto refreshes, and you can keep scrolling through. Parler doesn't. It pops up a box and asks for your permission to refresh the feed. It says, there are 20 new posts, and you have to hit the approve button to have it refresh your feed. They're asking permission for you to see the thing that you're trying to see. I don't understand. There's a lot of design decisions here that just kind of are confusing to me, and I think it's because I'm not their target user base. It must work for their target user base, but it's definitely weird to me.
Yeah, I get a headache using that platform half the time. The UI will just randomly break, and all of a sudden you're trying to click through and see replies, and the button doesn't work, and you have to refresh the entire page. There's just so much there. I'm like, what are they? Where is the money going? I know you have funding. Where's the money actually going? Is it buying a whole bunch of Ferraris and Lamborghinis and stuff for the staff?
That's usually how these projects work.
Yeah.
Especially when they have the right winger billionaire funding to produce
the Mercer
a thing.
Funding.
Yeah.
Then again, John, the CEO, did say that the money was going into the fight against QAnon. So, I'm going to take that at face value and just laugh.
Yeah. I'm going to ask him for some of it. I'm going to ask him to put it into my promotion account. I don't want cash from these people. I want him to make my thing able to promote.
Tell him to split it. So tell him
give
to
us both
give
$50K in our promote account, and then we'll just smash that button all day in our war against Q.
Yeah, that
Let's
sounds
do that,
good.
actually. Yeah,
yes.
You know what? Chat, you heard it here. We're going to do that. We're going to ask for it and see what happens. If he's putting budget back into fighting Q, one of the best things he could do is put on our accounts a bunch of credits in the promote button thing.
You are a verified Twitter leftist. He's supposed to be paying people like you.
Yeah,
I was through the grapevine.
I was told there was $20,000 available. He said it live that there was $20,000 for any lefty checkmark who also talked to the news as some kind of a talking head. And I am all of those things, so I would like my $20,000. Maybe I'll ask him on his podcast for it and see what he says.
That would be good. Yeah.
So far, he's been a surprisingly nice and accepting guy, but for all we know, that's just him, and great. Or it's the whole civility as a weapon thing. Who knows? We're going to learn as we go.
It's an interesting marketing tactic. I'll say that much.
I mean, 20,000 would like save my life at this point. Like I am, dude. How
Yeah.
many days till rent? Because I have negative 400 of it.
Yes. Charisma is extremely dangerous. I know because I abuse it all the time.
That's not a thing. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm just gonna do this now. Yeah, I don't know. We've been going for a while. Christmas stream. Look at us go. Yeah. So let's do that though. That sounds like great. That's a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the best use of those funds, other than like if I can get the 20K. Because I mean, it'd be nice to pay rent for a few months while I figure out what else I'm gonna do. I don't know. People keep telling me if I get another 20K or something like that handed to me, I should probably put it into something that then also makes money. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know how to do capitalism. This is not my thing. I'm not good at it.
Money to make money. Capitalism is really easy as long as you're like 100% willing to just fuck people over.
Oh, I know how to win at capitalism with zero morals and zero ethics.
Yeah, that's because that's how capitalism works.
Yeah, but if I try and have either of those things or both of them at the same time, then I can't seem to navigate it.
That's not how capitalism works. That's the underlying disconnect there.
Yeah. Doxy is right too. Like if you're the kind of person who every now and then just has to shut off social media for a few weeks because it's getting to be too much, I wouldn't join us on Parler because you're gonna get that feeling like every 5 minutes. Like it's
every 30
it's a
seconds,
ride.
really.
Yeah. I mean, depending on how much you're paying attention over there.
Yeah. The notifications that pop up sometimes, I'm just like, oh God, no.
Yeah, the other thing is turn off as many of the notifications as you possibly can the second you sign up for Parler, because like I was getting like 600 notifications a day from that damn thing until I turned all of them off.
You should, when I got my badge and John gave me the public welcome, like my phone practically crashed. Like it got so hot that it was uncomfortable to hold. Just from literally getting about 20-30 notifications per second. And I've had that happen on Twitter a few times.
So I
not
was
often.
sitting in a tent at Occupy, and I'm sitting there in the media tent, and we've got we're about to do some interviews on some stuff. We've got our cameras we're working on setting up and everything, and this was at the time when I actually did have access to UR9 News and was one of the users, and I had a problem with the group tool we were using to send messages through this 1 million follower account, right? Yeah. And so I just decided, fuck it, and I opened up Twitter and logged in and then sent out a message. And I didn't turn off notifications when I did it, and I gotta tell you, that's a problem. Because the tweet itself ended up with over 300,000 interactions on that day, and my phone just remained off for the rest of the day. That was a mistake I have learned from. Do not directly connect a 1 million+ follower Twitter account to your phone without notifications being muted in every way they possibly can. You actually run out of battery really quick. Like literally, it's sending so many notifications that the battery drain is like real. Like, oh my god.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah.
Good luck getting to the settings menu and shutting that shit off.
Yeah. Once you've done it, it's too late.
Oh, good times. Oh boy. Kitty! Hi, Kitty. And Kitty does not look happy. Doesn't look mad either, just kind of looks blah.
Yeah.
I mean, that cat definitely looks like your shoes.
Oh,
are
long cat is long.
Long cat is long.
Oh, good old Kirtaner rock. That is the most fun I've actually been having, just in all these chats we've been having, just all the reminiscing about all the old times.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I enjoy all of that. I was explaining Long Cat and Kirtaner rock to someone a couple weeks ago because they had found the picture of like the cat that was like 10 feet tall being held up, and they were like, "That's photoshopped," and I'm like, "Yes, that's photo. There's no cat."
Yeah. Why would you even have to think?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Praise Technol.
Praise Technol.
Good times. Oh yeah, so I don't know. I mean, we're over 2 hours now. I was not expecting us to last that long tonight.
No.
Good times. Yeah. Well, hey, guess what I just got?
What?
The text from 2 different texts from various family members who I haven't called yet, wondering why I haven't called to say Merry Christmas to them. I will deal with that when the stream is over. One thing you will learn if you are a friend of mine, as Mac well knows, is I'm really bad at keeping up my interpersonal relationships with people who are close to me. All of that heavy lifting is on them. I don't mean it to be. I just suck at it. I'm not trying to be that way, but it I don't know, man. So I get texts like that all the time, and then I respond. I'm like, if you would texted me at noon, we would have talked. I would have been happy. Instead, everyone gets all passive
it's amazing we actually talk because I'm the exact same way.
Yeah, so.
I have my phone basically set on do not disturb mode 24/7, so I miss things. If I'm not expecting a call, or if I don't actively see a notification, then people get pissed off, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. Just if I turn notifications and calls on, it's nonstop. It drives me absolutely batty.
I'm still not going to be able to respond to you because I won't see it.
Exactly.
But it'll be for a different reason.
Exactly. Yeah.
There, I have prepared it with text. Look at that. Look at me being a good son. And if I was a good son, I would have helped my dad with all those bank robberies and whatnot, but it wasn't for me. I wanted to do my own. I mean, he kept getting
playing
chased
second fiddle is no fun.
Seriously. The 90s were a lot more fun for me.
Yes.
Also a lot more anxiety inducing.
Mm-hmm.
Discord. Yeah, everyone get on Discord. We have fun over there. We'd have a lot more fun if we had all of you. There's 70 of you here. Let's go. Help me smell somebody. The cat's just kind of taking it. It's just used to this.
Yes. Yeah. You can just wiggle her around and do pretty much anything to her. She's just like, can I just lay down?
I need a pet, but we do not have one right now. What are we doing? All right, so right now we're just rambling. And people are still watching. Yeah. I don't know how much longer we need to go unless you guys really just want us to keep rambling. I mean, if you got more questions, I'll sit here for a few more minutes. But as Christmas specials go, I was very surprised that we did 2 hours now.
Yeah, right.
I believe I did deliver a Christmas gift if anyone wants to go back in the stream there, because that's getting cut for YouTube. So it's there, though. The Twitch one will stay up for a week before it auto-deletes itself. So I'm not gonna remove it from there if anyone wants to go have fun and call someone about their plans for the 6th.
Anyone got the timestamp? What was that, an hour and 9 minutes in? Something like that?
Not gonna really help anymore with that. It's it's already there, right? Oh, look at that. Another
you're gonna have to listen again from the start, everyone.
Yeah. So, yeah, and again, I have pretty much all the rest of their numbers too. So, like, maybe that becomes a thing. Who knows? The
Tonight's
strangest.
lottery numbers are.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yes.
I mean, name an alt-right group you hate, and then name their leader. And I have their cell phone number, and it's the good one that still works. Maybe we just start randomly dumping those. I don't know. We're gonna have some kind of fun with it, but
Just
maybe,
don't, please don't get banned from Twitch.
that's my thing. Like, I want to avoid that. So if anyone has any ideas over on Discord on how to not get banned on Twitter, not get banned on Twitch, and not get banned on YouTube, but do something, hit me up. We'll have some fun with it.
Yes.
Nice, another one. Look at this.
Wow.
This is Christmas. Thanks.
Yes,
for that.
really getting into the Christmas spirit.
That is literally how I am eating right now. That is awesome. Thanks everyone for that. Especially you, Berdam. That was cool. So, what else, everyone? I mean, I'm as you can tell, I'm definitely kind of run out of ideas to talk about right now. So I'm, if anyone has any more things in the chat. For the new people, again, when you see my eyes do this, it's because I'm reading the chat, trying to catch up with things. Yeah, definitely.
I just pissed off the cat so much that she's like, okay, fuck this.
I'm gone.
I'm done with you.
I think the limit with her is picking her up like 3 times.
Good times. Okay,
I think I'm fading here personally. I don't know about you. You said you hadn't eaten yet.
I haven't eaten dinner yet, guys. So the longer you keep me here, the less I eat, and I'm starting to feel it. Maybe that's why I keep mentioning it. Like subconsciously or something. Someone says, how do you feel about the pH fiasco? And there's look number 1 and there's look number 2. Good. I'm not the only one. What?
Yeah, I wonder what pH is here.
What's pH? And I will definitely have an opinion as I do keep up with things. That's just not triggering anything. What do you got for us? Is this one juicy? That,
No, that's H approaches P.
Yes. Wow. And that's
Or
you, Suga H.
H approaches P
Suga.
max, I guess. I don't know. Depends on your naming convention, I guess.
Yeah. Why are you telling me to go to Discord?
Parlor hack? Is that what was meant?
Oh.
Oh, you couldn't say Pornhub?
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I'm sure there's filters and shit. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, if you were subscribed, the filter wouldn't be on for you. I think I have that disabled.
Yeah, pH, Seattle 7 mine. Yeah, it's
I think the right move was made. I mean,
yeah, the right move was made.
They deleted literally millions of hours of content. So I mean, I don't know what else they could have done there other than, of course, like some of the other sites, been a little better at it up front.
They didn't even really they didn't delete the content. They just they disabled the ability to view content if the uploader did not have a verified account.
Right.
And having a verified account is not the same as like you can have a channel for arbitrary uploads, just that you need to provide identification in order to validate your identity. That's all they did. They didn't delete content. They just disabled it until somebody were to go and submit their identification.
If you had an account, you could re-enable yourself if you submitted all kinds of proof.
Yes, yeah, and the whole MSN line was Pornhub goes and nukes all of this content, but that's really not what happened. And given the type of platform that it is, like you said, they made the right decision.
Yeah, they were dealing with a really tough situation, especially with the problems that they already failed to deal with in the first place.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
I mean, to some extent, I guess I can't 100% blame them because it wasn't like they weren't necessarily thinking in advance, man, people are going to misuse our platform to do these things. But
one of my favorite
it's been
things,
apparent for a while.
Yeah, one of my favorite things is how people would just upload pirated content to Pornhub. Like you would get a WWE pay-per-view that is like two sweaty men slam hard as the video title.
That's awesome.
And it was just like the entire 3-hour pay-per-view, or like Sasha Banks gets fucked because she loses the belt. Just really, really funny ass titles, and the comments would just spin off from there. It was always funny. Not exactly the place you would expect pirated content, but it was a thing.
Yeah, surprisingly widespread.
Yes.
Yes, and that is a great article to read there, Vilobian. I am a big fan of that article. If along in this talk for everyone in the chat there, Vilobian posted the Designing for Evil. It's for software developers, so you have to kind of be wanting to build big websites or software or tools or anything to really get much out of it. But even if you're not, you can learn something just by what he talks about there. The conversation is really interesting. Jorm does a decent job of breaking down a lot of the problems themselves and how you might deal with them. I still don't think it's thorough enough. Like by the end of Jorm's article there, you want to find more, but you have a better vocabulary for searching for some of the problems by the end of that article.
There's artists having their own created content removed, though. So that's probably because they're not verifying their account.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is they had to disable everything that wasn't verified because people were uploading, content. I mean, the one of the big arguments was women were literally getting abused by someone and then videotaped while being abused, and then that was being uploaded. And the accounts doing it were not, verified accounts. So they had to disable that until they can verify accounts and verify whether that was acting or that was real. So I'm not gonna speak here and there on people's kink. I mean, whatever. I'm staying out of that side of the conversation. But the reason they actually had to do this is just quite simple. They couldn't verify on way too many accounts whether people being physically mistreated were part of the act or it was real.
Yeah. When adult content is involved and there's no identification provided by a content uploader, then you always will end up with these kind of dicey issues, and it's not, and there's no perfect solution. It's tricky on the content provider, and it's tricky on the content producer side of things. And that's not even considering the whole fiasco that you're having with YouTube content creators and Twitch content creators with all DMCA bullshit. There's a lot of stuff that do not typically apply to an adult content platform, and they had to figure out their own solution for it. It's tricky. There's really no way around it. It was bound to happen eventually.
Thoughts on FinCEN trying to regulate cryptocurrency? Yeah, I mean, obviously, I understand the need to regulate currency. Like, I get why these people feel that way. Cryptocurrency done right, when the currency itself's goal is complete anonymity and, subverting any government form of control, would be great. I don't know that any current cryptocurrency is really all the way there, though. Like, you've got Monero, you've got Z, you've got a few that are better than, say, Bitcoin when it comes to this type of stuff, but I really don't know that holy grail of a cryptocurrency that could avoid this type of regulation exists yet.
I mean, the thing that I just don't see a way that you end up with a cryptocurrency that can avoid that regulation, that doesn't also just naturally enable scams on the most massive of levels.
Yeah. Oh, and Curtis
therefore they're going to. I mean, no matter what you come up with, eventually, like, oh, well, we got around the current regulation. Well, now we enabled a bunch of scams. Give it 6 months, we'll have something that hits the news, and now they'll have to regulate it anyway.
Yeah, and for everyone reading the chat there, KYC that Kaiklan Gaming says is know your customer or know your client, depending on seemingly which blog post you read. But it is basically the idea that in any financial transactions, you have to have identifying documentation proving that you really do know and have verified who this person is to be part of certain institutions, certain types of connections. So, interbanking connections, larger financial transactions. But it is involved at every level at this point in all the cryptocurrencies that get majorly traded. I'm sure people have thrown up their own random ones that have no value that aren't on any platforms that have KYC implemented, but then also there's no value, so what's the point? I think it's going to all get regulated currently. I don't think anyone's come up with any kind of a silver bullet that stops that from happening. Do I agree with it? I would love to see a cryptocurrency done in a way that doesn't require regulation, but I don't claim to be anywhere near intelligent enough to come up with that. So, like,
I want to see someone come up with the explanation for how that works, just because I want to see that logic.
I would love it to exist, right? I'm just saying, like, I don't know that it can, and I definitely know I don't think I can do it.
If someone figures out a way, though, I want to see that explanation, because I want to see how you actually make that work.
It's a cryptocurrency that only functions within the Cayman Islands.
Right. Well, no. It is allowed to interbank transfer with Cyprus. They're both they're friendly. However, the Cayman Islands are also a bunch of shitbags. Anyways, they stole all my money. But that's a whole nother 90s story. The Caymans work with the feds and lock accounts with no proof and no warrant quickly now. So there are other places you want to go, and it is not there.
Okay.
And if you had the kind of money that needs that, you would know someone who knows where to put it, and it wouldn't be there.
All right, next time I'll give you a ring. Next time I need to launder something.
I know, right? Well, I mean, honestly, I didn't hear that, and I don't know anything.
I wish I had money that I had to launder.
I know, right? Like, let's get there. like life goals.
Probably shouldn't be saying that on the stream.
Life goals. Have enough money. I need to launder it.
We fail at capitalism so hard that we can't even do it illegally. It's great.
Look, what we should be talking about is like how we take advantage of the art industry scam, where you buy paintings and then like trade them with other rich people at inflated values and then donate them so that you can write them off. And now you have written off income that's way larger than the actual amount of money you put into it.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, everybody.
All right.
There you go. You're rich now.
100% legal. Rich people use that all the time.
Okay.
So, hey.
Why do you think art is worth so much?
Well, I mean, for anyone playing Cyberpunk 2077, you should go play the wonderful side quest where you get the big piece of art and you go sell it. Everyone will know this one. It's one of the few side quests that exists, and you can go sell the art. The trick is that when you get the painting and you sell it to the vendor, he pays you $4,000 for it. And then the real trick is wait like a minute and then try and buy something from that vendor. It's in the inventory and you can buy it for $5. And then wait a minute and then sell it back for $4,000. And have fun.
Wow.
And then go buy every car in the game. There's like 20 unlimited money glitches right now. There's one where you earn from a boss by killing the boss, but if you die when the boss dies, you respawn and he's back alive again, but the thing dropped. And so you can just keep, and so like there's lists of these and videos on how to exploit them. I mean, they're patching them, but like it's funny.
I mean, that's just any open world game really when it comes out. It's par for the course. It's the Bethesda syndrome.
Yeah.
Yes, spoilers. Good times. So yeah, everyone. I think Kurt is getting tired. I don't think Mac ever does. But I just one of those things. But I am getting hungry. So I want to eat some dinner. So I think we're gonna call it here because it's already 10 o'clock and I need food. So you guys get one last chance before I am the tyranny of property ownership. So one last chance. Anything before I end this stream and say happy holidays. There we go. All right. Yes. Everyone else, enjoy your holidays. The thing I want to end on, because I'd like you all to come back, is Monday. Monday's guest is Vermin Supreme. We are going to have fun with the man with the boot on his head and a pony. So Vermin is coming on Monday, and it is going to be a lot of fun because Vermin is always fun. So definitely everyone show up for Monday's stream and follow
follow and subscribe
and all those things you're supposed to say.
Get more subs.
I should have like an audio thing that like says all of that so I can just play it on the way out. Marble Cake, also the game. So all right, everyone.
You need one of these stupid things.
Oh God,
yeah,
I do. That's like one of those Elgato LED things, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Except this one's defective and has like a gray hue that goes over all the buttons. It still works, but
nice.
Like they sent it to me as a sample, and then I never used it because it was defective. And I don't know. Maybe I should figure out something to do with it.
I don't know. Did I do that right? I did. There we go. There's the Discord link. Also, it's in the About section on the Twitch page. All right, everyone. That was awesome. DIY you a Stream Deck with a 3D printer and a Pi 4. Hey, if you have any idea how to do any of that, I am happy for something like that. That would be awesome.
And then you can 3D print fun things like this.
I would say, just to be clear there, that I am on a Mac. So it would have to,
so am I.
function here. Mostly because I like having a fully POSIX compliant Unix environment at my shell, and because I spend more time there than most users do, and I don't want to have to then also maintain my system as much as I used to with the Linux machine. Although I will say that most of my maintaining the system there was because I just couldn't stop fucking around with it because there was so much stuff you could do. It's easier over here, and I'm happy. So I am a Mac user.
I'm a Hackintosh user, so I'm addicted to pain.
Yeah, well, oh my God, dude. How and oh. So I did that for a short period, but I couldn't keep up with, like, dude, a new release would come out and then my sound drivers would all just be shit, and then I'd have to, they removed that graphics driver now, and just
I have
I
an external USB DAC and amp.
What are you going to do with Big Sur now that they've removed Kexts? All the kernel extensions. You're just not going there, huh?
Yeah, I'm still on High Sierra because I got an NVIDIA graphics card. So trust me, I know your pain.
Yep. Okay. All right, everyone. We are going away. I am getting some food. This guy looks like he wants to, that guy looks like he needs some sleep. And happy holidays to all of you. All right. Good night, everyone.
All right.